Hey motion designers, have you ever wondered why some motion designers make more money than others, even when you feel like maybe their work isn't as good as yours? So that's because they actually have a system to get them regular and high paying clients, even when they are busy. Now, I know this system that I'm going to teach you today works because I've used it for myself, and I've also used it with hundreds of other motion designers over the past 7 years. So you can see here just some of the results that they got. So coming up in this live today, then we're going to cover 4 things that you need to focus on to help you to make more money, what areas of your marketing to pay attention to, and one thing that I want you to fix right now that's going to help you to get clients straight away. So this is the system that will help you to make more money, and this is my framework called the Freelance Funnel Framework. Now at the top of the funnel, you'll see you have awareness, then you have attraction, action, and then of course advocacy. And you're this nice little spaceman at the bottom. So what you want to do is you want to use this funnel to draw your clients to you and to warm your clients up. So what most motion designers are doing right now is they're actually coming in on the action part, and they're usually just talking about their work, and they're sending cold emails out sometimes. And this is really all in the action part, and they aren't even getting to the advocacy part. So what we want to talk about then is how you can really create more awareness of your work, how you can attract your clients to you, and then of course how you can provide them with a good call to action so they actually work with you. And then of course you can also turn your clients into advocates or fans of yours, which will help you to get even more work and help you to have more tools in your tool belt to attract more clients to you. So like I said, most people are coming in at the action stage. So what we want to talk about today then is how can you increase the awareness of your work? How can you attract clients to you? And then how can you really turn them into advocates or fans of yours? So we're going to actually look through some portfolios today and some marketing. We're going to go into social media, into LinkedIn, into Instagram, and we're going to look at all the marketing that we have from motion designers that have submitted their portfolios to me. So thank you for everyone who did that. I really, really appreciate it. So what we're going to do then is we're going to go through these, and we're going to also rate them based on the funnel of awareness, attraction, action, advocacy, so that you hopefully at home as well can see really, where you're missing a step as well. Because most of the time what I've figured out is most motion designers are kind of making the similar mistakes a lot and things like that. So I'm hoping that today we can cover some things that are going to help you too as well. And I often get asked about examples and to show case studies and things like that. So I really want to dive in live today. And if you have any questions, just put them in the chat. And obviously if you're watching the replay of this later, then put them below this video and I'll happily get to them later as well. So thank you everybody as well for joining me live. Of course, in the chat, I can see you all in there. It's lovely, lovely to see you all today. So let's jump into some portfolios then. So as you can see here, we have our lovely rating system. Now, thanks again to everyone who's submitted. So we are going to give everyone, a score out of 10 based on awareness, attraction, action, and advocacy. And first up, we have a lovely studio based out of the UK called Tomfoolery. So we're going to take a look at Tomfoolery's portfolio, also their LinkedIn and their Instagram, and we're going to give them a rating. So Tomfoolery said their biggest issue right now was landing new clients and also getting bigger budgets. So we're just going to keep that in mind too while we're going through this. And obviously, if you have any thoughts about anyone's portfolio, please do put them in the chat as well. We love to hear from you, and the more help, the better, really. So here we are then. This is Tomfoolery's portfolio. Now let's just take a look around. So I have looked at these briefly before, but I do also like to come from it with fresh eyes, like imagining I'm a client just landing on their site as well. So what we're going to do then, we're just going to have a little look around first. We are going to play the videos because sometimes I think on live streams it doesn't play as well. So obviously you can go and watch the videos in your own time. But what we're going to do is we're mainly talking about marketing and how they're creating awareness of their studio and things like that. So I love all of the kind of big videos on here. I think it looks really, really cool. I'm just going to have a little flick around. So I know from working with Owen at Tomfoolery that they are attracting museums and galleries mainly. And the thing that I mainly wanted to point out here today as well is if I was landing on their site straight away, I wouldn't really know that that was what their niche was. And I think it's really, really important to think about like straight away when you land on your homepage, who are you really trying to attract, and really try to call that out there. So if we go back to the homepage, then what I would try and do is I would try and, you know, put a like headline here or something like that that really says what they do. So just thinking about knowing that they're going mainly after galleries and also museums, I would think about something like, you know, putting like the motion design studio for museums and galleries or something like that. Like, what is a problem that museums and galleries have that Tomfoolery are really, really solving? Because I think that would be the thing to focus on. So I think there might be a slight issue with the audio, so I hope that you can all hear me enough, but let us know how it's going in the chat, and if it's too bad, obviously we'll try and fix it. But that is the joys of being live, so thanks everyone for your patience as well. So yes, so I think I would add a headline here based on, you know, what really the problem is that they're trying to solve ideally, and really talking about how they are the motion design studio for museums and also for galleries. Because I think that this is really, really important when you're niching down, is to really call it out, because otherwise people might not know, you know, who really they're serving. And I really only knew this from like digging into the work, and then obviously they have it on the about section, but I think it sort of feels like almost like a little bit of an afterthought, and considering most of their work is with museums and galleries, I think that this is a really valuable thing to do. So just having a really bold headline there, I think would be good. So if we think about what else might we put on a homepage that might help us to get more clients and make more money, I also think that potentially if you had a top headline, I'd be thinking about, can I get some animation in here straight away, you know, up top? I think that would be really valuable. So maybe having the headline on like an animated banner of their work that really shows a lot of their museum and gallery work, I think would be really cool. Then I think having, you know, some of the projects, maybe potentially for a homepage, I think this could be too many. And it's sort of, nothing happens at the bottom really here. So I would definitely be including like a call to action at the bottom. I think that's really, really important. So if Owen wants to include a call to action there at the bottom, and then also I would definitely add some testimonials in here. So I think there's a lot of work that could be done on the homepage that would really, really speak to their ideal clients. And because I already work with a lot of galleries and also museums, I would ask them to talk to the galleries and museums and really say, you know, ask them about like, what are they really trying to do, and use some of that language and some of that copy on the website as well. So let me know what you think of this portfolio too in the chat. It's always good to hear from you all as well. So awesome. So let's move on then. I'm just checking in. Yeah, it would be good to know if anyone is niche down with the types of clients that they work with. And I hope the audio isn't too bad for you all. I can turn it up slightly. and just let me know if it's doing any funny crackling or anything like that, because it might be peaking a little bit. But thank you as well for your patience, and do let us know in the chat if that's helpful. Cool, awesome. So let's move on then. So let's have a look at their Instagram for a moment. So what I thought about their Instagram is I think that it definitely speaks more to the gallery and museum type of work, which I think is good. And they've also got, you know, some museums and some galleries they've kind of, you know, pointed out in the work here and stuff like that. So I think that's really good. And this almost gives me more gallery museum vibes than the website. So I think there's quite a bit of work to be done there. Just thinking about sort of awareness part, I feel like they are posting. I think they could be doing more. So let's just have a look at Owen's LinkedIn as well, because I don't know if everyone knows, but obviously if you have your own studio or something like that, yes, you can have a LinkedIn company page, but it doesn't really do as well as if you have your own profile page. So I think what I would do is obviously have the company page too, but really focus on how you can be putting your company out there as well. So you'll notice that we have Motion Hatch, but then I also have my own LinkedIn where I post a lot because it gets an awful lot more reach. So that's what I would recommend to Owen as well. So let's just see what he can do on like the awareness front. So I think he has a pretty good about here, but what I would say is what Owen could probably do is put his email in here as well. And that is really kind of like a part that we can do in the action section, right, of the freelance funnel framework, is making sure we have clear calls to action where we need them, but also making sure we're warming our clients up. So just kind of looking through here. So I think that I noticed, let's just see all the posts. So yeah, I think that Owen's not posted an awful lot, and when he has these kind of reposted tomfoolery, I would say that Owen should really post the work from his own profile, ideally. I think reposts don't do as well, and you can obviously post like similar stuff, but you know, you'll see what we do at Motion Hatch sometimes is we reuse the work, so we'll sort of cross it over. So I might post about something and then we'll post about it on Motion Hatch like a month later or something like that, and we repurpose the content in that way to make sure that everyone sees it. Because as you know, even if you follow me on LinkedIn, you might not always see my posts. So I think it's really, really valuable, and I think you can do this. So I think just from a social media perspective, because what we need to remember as well, in the awareness part of the funnel, it's not just about social media. You could also be warming your clients up by going to an event, meeting them in person, meeting them in private communities. So I don't know what Owen's doing on that front, but obviously today, because we're doing a live review, we can only judge them based on what they have on social media and things like that. So just a reminder that you don't have to use social media for your awareness part of the funnel, but that's what we're going to be judging people on today, just because it's the easiest way really to do this with us, like what we can see really. So in terms of awareness, I think for a rating for tomfoolery, because they don't have an awful lot of stuff. I mean, let's be fair and let's go to actually their company page too. I just really think it would be better to post more from their individual pages as well. Yeah, they haven't got an awful lot. So I think in terms of, thinking about like how are you creating awareness of your work? Have you got good banners as well on your pages? Do they really clearly tell the ideal client of yours who you are and what you do? So I think, they've made a start, but I'm probably going to say I'm going to have to give like a 4 out of 10 for awareness. Let me know if you agree, disagree in the comments. And, hopefully this is all obviously in good fun, but hopefully it's really helping you to see like some opportunities where you can improve, and also helping everyone who kindly submitted their portfolios as well. So thinking about going on to Attraction then. So what types of things are we doing inside Attraction? Well, we can be creating case studies. We can also be doing testimonials. So let's have a little look around. I mean, I think we already established that they could probably add some testimonials on the homepage. That would be amazing, from different like well-known museums and galleries. That's just going to really help. Also, you can also add them on the about page. In terms of like, this is good, you know, showing company logos in terms of increasing trust and things like that. So I think they're doing okay there, but I would really say, you know, adding some more proof and testimonials in here is really, really going to elevate this website for sure. Let's just check in on the contact. So yeah, I just think there could be a lot more done to really, you know, speak to the museums and the galleries, especially if they notice, oh, there's a testimonial from that person and I know that gallery that they work for and things like that. You know, it could just really take them very far. So just going back here, let's go back to owns actually. Because obviously you can have recommendations on LinkedIn. I don't think Owen has any. So yeah, I would be encouraging the museums and the galleries to also give recommendations on LinkedIn that they can also use on their website, because I think that would be really valuable. So just checking in on the chat, and thanks so much for Tom Fury for being here live as well. And thanks for letting me review your marketing and your portfolio. I know it's a bit scary sometimes. We did have a lot of submissions, so I tried to pick out a few from different types of people and different sort of levels of work and studios and motion designers and all of the things like that. So thanks everyone for being in the chat. Do keep chatting in there. I'm popping into the chat, you know, occasionally and just seeing what you're saying, but obviously we are going through all the portfolios too. So yes, in terms of awareness, so we've sort of seen there doesn't look like there's too much going around in terms of, you know, like things like testimonials, but let's try like sort of check in on a case study front, I think, because that's really the other part of awareness that you really want to be working on. So yeah, there isn't much here in terms of behind the scenes. I wonder what happens if I click through this. Okay, I like that. I like you can click through like this. But I would just really say that it's really important to really have more about these projects. Like things like, you know, what was the brief? What are you doing for the client? What are you helping them achieve? What you actually, you know, what did they say about it? What was their testimonial about the project? What was behind the scenes? You know, all of this type of stuff. So yeah, sorry if I'm missing out some case studies there, but I definitely think just from the ones I've seen, you could definitely do better on the attraction part of things. And also what comes in attraction too is what we were talking about in terms of like really making it clear on the homepage what you do, you know, who you work for, what problem you solve for them. I think in terms of attraction on Instagram, I think that they're doing pretty well, because also they're tagging in the people they work with and things like that. I think that's great. I just think there could be more done in terms of behind the scenes and also putting them on, you know, different channels. So putting behind the scenes on social media as well as on the website and things like that. So yes, I think, what do I think is fair? I feel bad, but I'm probably going to give you a 3 because you had a little bit, but you're really, that's an area that I think can really help you to just build some more authority in this space of galleries and museums. And I hope you think that that's fair. Let me know in the chat what everyone thinks, you know, because I think I'm trying to be fair, but also I want you all to realize where there's like the big opportunities, you know, to really show your clients what you can do for them. And like most of the people who submitted their portfolios, you know, a lot of these same things were happening. So I hope that you all find this helpful today. So in terms of action, so what are we talking about here then? We're talking about, have we got clear calls to action? Now, Tom Fuller are definitely doing better in this case because they have got a contact button. And the amount of times, honestly, that I get submitted portfolios and everyone doesn't have a contact button. So this is the one thing that you absolutely must fix right now if you do not have this. And what I would say, though, is a little tip as well, is I often see these social media icons in the top right. So when you're thinking about a layout of a website, and if you go and look at like a lot of software services, different things like that, you'll actually see that they put their main call to action up here, right in the top right. So if we're thinking about how human beings work, they will always try and go up here to like do the next thing, you know. And granted, Owen has put contact here, which I think is good, but to improve it even more and to potentially get more people, you know, finding how to contact them more easily and stuff like that, which obviously can lead to more leads and all that kind of stuff, is having like the contact button really the main thing. So getting rid of these, I mean, you can still put them in the footer if you want, but that's not important. What we don't want to do is what we're trying not to do is going from, basically, I'm going to turn my screen back on for a second because I really want you to get this point. So what we really want to do then is we're really trying to get the clients to do the next call to action that we want them to do, right? So if we are thinking about, okay, like what do I want them to do next? We don't want them to go onto social media. We will want them to contact us, you know, we want them to contact us and say, hey, we want to work with you. And we want to, you know, make sure that they can easily do that. So yes, what I would say then I think is really important is definitely remove the social media icons, make the contact the kind of furthest right along, and make it like a big yellow, not yellow button, but you know, whatever your main brand colors are, make it a bright color, you know, because I think that would really help. So they're almost there, but not quite there with that. So let's just go to contact page then. So I like the fact that they put you can email Owen Adam because it makes it more personal. I think that's really nice. I think, you know, they've got their email. It's easy to copy and paste. It's easy to send them an email. So I think they get points for that. I just think that, you know, it's really important to remember that you should have that kind of contact right there. And equally, like we said earlier, you could have it in your about section, you know, all of these different places. Okay, cool. I'm just trying to think if I have anything else on that. So yeah, let's go for action then. I think I'm gonna say 5 out of 10 for that, because I feel like you're doing a little bit better on you know, call to action stuff, but I'd say for most motion designers and studios, this is actually the bit that they're okay at, as long as you have clearly got your email on your website. And to be honest, there's not enough places you can put it. Just put it everywhere. Put it on the home page, put it in the footer. You know, you really want a good call to action in the footer. So after they scroll down, they found out about you, they found out about your work, and then you want like, what do you want them to do next, you know? And I feel like this is the biggest tip that I want to give you all today is like, please, 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 just, you know, go away, look at your website. Don't do it now, obviously stay watching this stream, but just make sure you check this stuff because it's really, really important. So, you know, we have awareness and attraction, and that's really important too, but some people are just missing these really, really key things that can really help you to get more client leads, because there's an awful lot of people out there working as motion designers right now. And really it's getting more tough, you know? So I really want you to learn all about this stuff and make sure you're not making these mistakes, because I think it's really, really important. And if someone's flicking through a client looking at different motion designers and they spend too long trying to find your email, then they might just go to the next one, you know, and we don't want that. Cool. Okay. So advocacy. We've kind of talked a lot about this before, because basically in advocacy, what you're doing is you're trying to make clients, you know, advocates and fans of yours. So a lot of it is a little bit tricky to judge based on web presence, because you know, we can't see what they're doing behind the scenes in terms of getting referrals and stuff like that. But one tip that I have for you is to all ask and reach out to your client, your past clients, for referrals, and be really active about that, and make sure that you're putting that on your CRM, on your client relationship manager, so that you're really, you know, being intentional about asking for referrals and things like that. So obviously I can't see what Owen's doing in terms of that, but what we can see is that Owen doesn't have an awful lot of testimonials and that kind of thing. So in terms of like advocacy publicly, you know, they're not really pushing a lot of that out there, which, you know, I think is a really big missed opportunity. And especially if you're trying to get new clients and bigger budgets and you're really trying to make a name for yourself in that industry, I think that the testimonials and the proof, you know, the proof of how you're helping these galleries and also these museums, I would really, really recommend that you really go for that. So I'd probably say, you know, there's a lot to do in awareness and attraction, but also in advocacy. So I'm going to give you 3 out of 10 for that, because I think that, like I said, I don't know what you're doing behind the scenes. And I think that you could really be, you know, pumping that up, like with asking for testimonials and things like that. Cool. Okay. So, yes, I don't know how to solve the left and right issue. If I can figure it out, I will. Let me just have a little check to see if I can do it for you and change it. The balance says that it's in between left and right. Thanks everyone for your patience. I'm just wondering. This might completely break it, but I have changed some settings. Let me know if that has helped at all. So yeah, you know, we're live, we're trying our best. But please let me know if that's helped with the audio at all. I think that I've tried to change it to mono, so it should be coming out of both ears now. Oh, it's fixed it. Wonderful. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for your patience as well. And do stick around because we've got 2 more portfolios to do. So awesome. Incredible. I'm so pleased that fixed that. I'm sorry that I messed that up slightly, but I appreciate you all for sticking around as well. Awesome. Cool. Okay. Thanks everyone. Appreciate you. Okay, cool. So thank you so much for Tomfoolery for putting their studio forward really for a review, because I know it's scary. But next we have Marmoon, who is a motion designer, and we're going to look at his. So his biggest struggle is attracting clients with high budgets. Very similar, you can see these issues, and I'm sure a lot of you are struggling with the same thing. So we're going to go through some of these tips. So, okay. Now this is a super interesting site, and I think that Marmoon's done quite a cool job. I'm really excited to show you all this. I think it's great. I think there's definitely some key things that we're missing here that can just elevate this a lot more. So this is, you know, what I was talking about that I think that Tomfoolery could do a little better at, is having a headline. So what I like about this is I get here, I'm instantly greeted with some motion, which we're all motion designers or studios, you know, we should be having motion on our website straight away. So I think that Marmoon gets top points for that. But, and also for having clear calls to action. So this is really good. One thing I would say, get started is very like, you know, software as a service. And I think that I would just put book a call here instead. I would make your call to actions consistent, but it's good that you have them. And I think it's really nice that you have the main one and it's highlighted as a button and everything like that. So what I would say about this, so let's just have a little scroll around, because obviously I've looked at this and you haven't. So what I really like about this is it's really clean, and I'm instantly greeted with some testimonials as well. Fantastic. Really good. this is making me excited, as you can tell. So I think, and then we've got a clear call to action at the end. So Marmon's obviously paying some attention to how to do a landing page, which I think is great. One thing where I think this is letting him down a little bit is that basically it still feels a little bit generic. So let's talk about this then. So transform your ideas into stunning motion graphics. So let me know in the chat if you feel like you could also write that on your website. Because I feel like this is a little bit too generic. And I think that, you know, if other people could legitimately write it on their website, then I think that you're probably being a little bit too broad. So we love it, you know, we love this. I love this kind of way of doing a homepage, and it's very, like I said, very in line with how people would normally do landing pages and stuff like that. And I think this is the direction that as motion designers we should think about moving towards, because we need to think about more and more. Unfortunately, I think that just having good work isn't good enough. And I feel like we need to learn more about how to sell ourselves, right? So this is where, you know, having copy and talking about what your differences are and your processes and how your work's different, or what kind of clients you serve are different, you know? Like, how can we put your differentiators right up top, you know? And also thanks to Marmoon for being in the chat as well. I appreciate you. And please let me know, you know, if you have any questions. Cool. So I'm really liking the site. I just think that potentially we're being a little bit too broad. And I think if you niche down a little bit with this and you thought about what types of clients am I going after, and like really what problems am I solving for them, or like more in style or something like that. I think like tools, you know, niching down in like your skills is getting a little bit trickier. I'm sure you've all heard me say this before, because obviously the programs and tools are becoming more accessible. So that means differentiating yourself based on skill is a little bit trickier. So I think we either need to do it more on style, process, or also like what kind of clients you're going after and what problems you're solving. So, but yeah, I think you've got a good start, and it's kind of hard for me to say on this live really like what exactly clients you could go after and things like that. But I would just think about like, what are your passions outside motion design, and how maybe can you start to pair that up a little bit? That's a good way to start to think about this. Or like, who are the clients that you've worked with that you really, really loved working with, or that paid you the most money, or things like that. Like, think about your past clients and think about, is there a niche or somewhere that I can kind of run with there, you know? Yeah, so a lot of people are saying in the chat that they don't have testimonials on their site either. And I think it's just so powerful, because if you're looking at this and you're looking at maybe someone else's website and they have similar work, you're probably going to go, well, I'm just going to go with Marmoon then, because he's, you know, people have trusted him before. You know, it's kind of like a no-brainer really. So yeah, I'm liking this. I think this is interesting, and I haven't really seen this too much in the motion design space, but I am enjoying it. So I like, you know, there's an interesting thing about putting your rate on the site. So one thing is 450 euros a day, right? So one thing is potentially this could put people off, but that's almost, it could be a good thing in a way, you know, because you're putting it out there. So if someone can't afford you, they're not going to email you and kind of waste your time, right? So it's kind of interesting from that perspective, but then you're really sort of getting away from value-based pricing, you know, and you're sort of not pricing the client, you're just pricing your work and your output, and potentially different types of projects would require different types of pricing. So yeah, it's interesting. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer here, and I think it's up to you. Marmoon, in the chat, if you want, I'd love for you to talk about if you think putting your rate on your website has helped you or not. You know, it'd be good to hear from your point of view as well. But I think it's interesting, and I think it's really, you know, on a case-by-case basis and for everyone to kind of decide. But what I really like about this is you've got some really great call to actions. What I don't like about this, though, is this is like a button. Is it going to take me to? Yeah, so that's going to open my mail, my like MacBook mail thing. And I don't actually use that at all. And it really annoys me when I'm just trying to email someone and it tries to open mail. I'm like, no, I just want to copy and paste it into Gmail. And I know that like some people are fine with that. But what I would say that you could do better is just have that as like a copy and pasteable email at the bottom. Because I think, yeah, and you could have your book a call button and then you could have or email me and just have a copy and pasteable email. I think that would work well. It's not a big deal, but it's just, for me, I just find it a bit frustrating. Okay, so we talked a lot about this. So when I go to services, right, it just takes me here. And then when I click on this, it like takes me to a Figma website. And I know that Marmoon, he did warn me about this, by the way, everyone. So, and he was asking me about this. So I think it's fair. Let's talk about it, you know? So what I don't like about this is I feel like, why am I taken away from the website? Because the homepage looks so good. And I'm like, I just want it to open the project that I want to look at. You know what I mean? Whereas the problem with this is now I'm like, okay, am I on the project? Do you know what I mean? That you just showed me. I'm kind of just looking through here and I'm just a bit confused about what I'm looking at, really. I think that's my biggest problem. And also it looks like
however strategic and
like
Web3 should not be intimidating, confusing, dangerous, or
yeah. Well, there's some behind the scenes here. I don't know. This isn't really like giving me a good flow and not really like taking, me through very well. I'm just gonna shut that just in case it's disrupting the sound. But I feel like you really need, and I'm guessing this just takes me to Figma as well. Yeah, I can see that it does. I think that you really need to make these so they're clickable and they go to another page on your website. That's like the biggest thing that's going to really help you as well. Obviously, in terms of getting clients with higher budgets and things like that, I think niching down to and being more specific is really going to help. But just from like a professional point of view, I think you need to really just have it all on the website, because this is so impressive, and then you kind of feel like a little bit let down by like having to go off the site in a way. But yeah, so I think you're doing a really good job, and I know this is probably work in progress, so feel free to take what I'm saying with a pinch of salt. But I just really wanted to like stay on the website and have really good case studies and stuff like that. So let's like go quickly through your so I was looking at this before, so I've scrolled all the way down. So yes, so another thing that I wanted to mention, so when I was looking, I love this picture of you. I think it's lovely, and I think it shows your nice smiley face, and people love to see that, and you don't really have that on the website at all. Let me double check. I don't want to be mistaken. I don't think you do. You don't have like about page. You've got this little bit here, but I think you really need an about, and you really need to show your face. It builds a lot of trust. So this is another massive big tip for everyone, is like go and check that you've got a picture of yourself on your website, because it's really easy to be sort of like a faceless person, and people like are a bit wary of that, especially nowadays with AI and all this stuff coming in. I think that we really need to put ourselves and our personalities forward a lot more. Yes. So Marmoon's saying he's learning Webflow, and I'm sure it's a work in progress. So, but hopefully this helps to give you some good ideas. So yes, so what I liked, I think you've got some great work, but what I thought about this is I think you need to post some more, because the kind of, this is 36 days of typewrite, I think. So although like the animations and stuff for this are really nice, what I would say is the kind of thumbnails, they're not very inspiring. But then when I scrolled down, I was like, oh, some of this work's like really interesting. So I think that's potentially just you like updating a little bit, because you want to sort of treat your Instagram now as like almost like a bit like a portfolio page as well. And although I think that Instagram is definitely kind of becoming, less and less relevant really, because it's not pushing work out as much, but for kind of like more like a portfolio showcase type thing, you really want to think of like what are the thumbnails on here. Okay, cool. So let's go down then. Yeah, so what I liked that you're talking a bit more about you and what you're doing outside of your work here. And I thought that was really cool and interesting, and this is maybe something that you might want to think about when you're thinking about, well, who do I really want to work with and who am I trying to attract? I'm not saying you have to work with like longboard companies or something like that, but like just giving people a few ideas here, like how is what you do in your life outside motion design really, really helping you to get more clients, and to help you to make more money. And I think like your interest in longboarding and your stuff that you do outside of work, is there like something that you can kind of bring in? And it's, people like this kind of stuff. It's getting you attention, a lot of people like it. And especially for 3 weeks ago, like 80 plus likes is pretty good for LinkedIn. It's kind of becoming more and more difficult, unfortunately. So yeah, let's go back. How do I go back here? Yes. Just wanted to go back to the page. Yeah, and I would say with your call to actions as well, you can put your email in here. I think that's a nice little easy tip for everyone. Yeah, but you've got some more recommendations on here as well, so that's really good. I just wanted to look at some more of your posts on LinkedIn. So lots of reposts. Yeah, I saw this and I thought this was kind of like an interesting, hook. Because I think like people looked at this but then I think that I thought your kind of end thing was funny, saying about you should post a question. I definitely agree with that. But then I think no one replied because it was like not really a question. If that makes sense. So yeah, I thought it was funny, but I think, it would have been good if you asked a question and then people would have engaged with it a little bit more. Okay, cool. Well, let's do the rating then. Doing it kind of at the end now, but that's okay. So in terms of awareness, I think you're doing a pretty good job. I think you could work on, posting a little bit more. And I think I loved, your latest post on LinkedIn that was a bit more personal. I think that's great and moving in the right direction. So I would think of this as like more of an awareness post, because it's something that people might be interested in, especially if you were trying to go after these types of clients. That would be super interesting, and really helping to get in front of those type of people. And then thinking about, well, how could I create more attraction type posts? So, doing a case study and then sharing that on LinkedIn, potentially getting a testimonial. Well, you've got testimonials, so you could like share them on LinkedIn, like that kind of thing. And then just doing some like call to action posts and things like that. So I think from the awareness perspective, maybe I will give you, I think maybe like a 5 out of 10. I think you're getting there, but I think you're also have a little way to go. Advocacy, I think you're doing really good, so let's give you an 8 out of 10. I think you could share it more on social media and stuff like that, but I really liked your testimonials and I thought they looked really good. Call to actions, also pretty well. Let's say 7, because I think there was a bit of room for improvement there, putting a little bit, cleaning them up a bit, tightening them up, putting it on call to action more on LinkedIn and stuff like that as well. And then, yeah, attraction was probably the lowest one. I'd say 3 out of 10, because this is where I really think that you need to work on your you know, getting the actual projects on the website, getting the case studies on the website, and really making them good, including the testimonials inside the case studies and things like that. So yes, I think, you know, overall really good. Love the kind of layout of the website, but I think there's some stuff that you can do to improve, and I would really think about how can I niche down, you know, and really work on some, you know, stuff that, you know, I really want to work on, and how can I show that in the best light on my portfolio. So yes, so just wanted to pop back here off the screen share and yeah, just say how is everyone doing in the chat. We're gonna have one more portfolio, and then if we've got any questions, I'll try and answer them if we have time as well. But yes, just let me know how you're getting on in the chat. And obviously, if you're watching the replay of this later, please do let me know if you're enjoying this, and I'd love to hear where you're coming from as well. So let's move on then to the final one. So if we go down, so we have Stella as our final one. So Stella says she's really struggling with social media and getting stuck in a cycle of posting a lot when she has no work, but then getting too busy to post. Does anyone in the chat or watching the replay really feel like this is them? Because I feel like this is very, very, you know, something that happens an awful lot. So let me know in the chat if you feel like that's you as well. So let's take a look at Stella then. So what I really like this is kind of really nicely designed. I want to point out something that I thought was really nice to start with. I loved this picture of Stella. I thought it was really lovely. I love that she's got her branding around the picture as well. I think it's really, really cool. But let's just move kind of around. So I think this is good. I really like this as an about page, basically. I think what I would say is I probably wouldn't have about and contact as the same one. I know that you're probably going to just put a similar info, right? But what I would put is about like this. I think it's perfect. But then I would put more a little bit along the lines of tomfoolery, where we've got, you know, a form, but we've also got copy and pasteable email. So I think that that would be really good. So let's just carry on. So like I said, we're not going to watch all the work and the reels and stuff like that because it would take too long. And also it's not really what we're talking about today, but everyone's work's been beautiful, by the way. What I liked about this is that Stella's put a breakdown of what she worked on and what she did on the projects. I think that's building a lot of trust there. Let's look through. So what I liked about this is I think that you feel like you've got quite a little bit of a style going on, which I thought was cool. And I think you know, obviously your work is very nice. I like how you've got a lot of nice stuff on here. Let's just like try and dig around in here a little bit. Oh, so is this behind the scenes, I guess? Yes, we like this. Nice. This is what we want to see, and I'm hopefully Stella posted this on social media as well, but you know, just little behind the scenes stuff. People love this kind of stuff. This is gonna play forever for me now, probably. Let's go back. Okay, let's see. I was just thinking seeing if you have a more case study type stuff. Okay, that's just linking to someone else's portfolio. Yeah, let me know if Stella's in the chat. Let me know if you have some case studies. I haven't looked through all of these. It looks like there's some work probably to be done on a case study front. A lot of these look like personal projects as well, which is fine, but I still think there's more behind the scenes, more explanation and things like that. So yes. So yeah, sorry if there's a little bit of a delay, and also sorry for playing the videos if you can't hear my voice too. So yes, so let's, oh, I think I had a bit of a lag there. Let's look at the illustration page then. Yeah, I mean, I love Stella's work. I think she's showing it in a really nice light here, so I think that's awesome. I just think, especially the about and contact, I would split that up for sure. Does that go to the home page? Yeah, okay. Yeah, so let's look at social media because that's something that Stella also mentioned about being consistent. And let's look at LinkedIn as well. Oh, so this is really good. This is what I was talking about. Really having in here your email and your website in the about page. I just think it's a really easy thing that you can all do right now. That can help you to get more clients because people will look at your profiles, they can easily find your work and your contact details, and then they will get in touch. So yeah, I think this is okay. I think we definitely could do with a few more. I mean, you have quite a few recommendations here, which is great. I wonder if you could put them on your website. You might have to ask permission, but I think this is really good. So you've got, looks like 13 here. So yeah, if you could put those on your website as well, that would be great. And I feel like that would really, really help. So let's go in here. I think most of these were reposts when I looked. So I think Stella could definitely do a lot more posting. I love this little Halloween animation. It was super cute. And it looks like she did a lot here for Facetober. But yeah, I think it's like what you were saying, having more consistency. So just talking a little bit about consistency then. Basically, when you start, posting on social media, it's better to post, maybe once a week or something like that instead of every day, because you can really start to get burnt out if you start posting every day. And if you kind of do this thing where you post like every day for a couple of months and then not at all for like 6 months and then every day for a couple of months, the algorithm really doesn't like that and it's not going to be good. So it would be better to spread those posts out. And I know it's hard if you're doing like a project where you're kind of like 36 days of type or, like some other ones that people do. Some of them are kind of daily ones and you certainly can do those. But I would say if you just want to get more clients from LinkedIn, for example, I would just concentrate on posting once a day, but really being active once a week, but really being active on there and really commenting on other people's posts, being part of a community, and also really thinking about who are the types of clients that I'm going after and how can I really write hooks, this first sentence to really hook them in. And then what's the second sentence saying? And how can I really, really, get them to read more, essentially? And then how can I also, ask a question to get more engagement and things like that? We've also got a free social media guide. So if you want to grab that, I'm sure we can put the link in the comments and in the chat for you as well. I think that will really help. Cool. Okay. So let's do a bit of rating for Stella then. I'm just checking that I haven't missed anything. So let's think about in terms of awareness. Let me just put my screen back on. Here we go. So awareness, I think, Stella kind of got her struggle correct in a way. I think she could definitely do some work on the awareness part of the freelance funnel framework, just getting that more regular posting. She might be doing other stuff. Like we have mentioned, social media isn't the only way to build awareness for your work, but obviously we can't really judge everyone based on, are they going to events? Are they talking to clients in private communities? Because we can't see that. So today we can only look at what we can see. So, apologies if you are doing some work outside of that, or all of you are thinking to yourselves, you don't just have to raise awareness through social media. We know that, but that's what we're kind of doing today. So yes, I would say I would give Stella a 3 out of 10 for awareness. Attraction, I thought she was doing pretty good because she does have a nice about page. She does have some testimonials on her LinkedIn, but she hasn't got them on her website. So I'd say there's a bit of work to do there. She's kind of almost like halfway there. So let's say like 5 out of 10. Obviously, I'm just doing these roughly. It's just kind of giving you all, Stella as well, and everyone who submitted their portfolios kindly for review, but also just all of you to kind of think about yourself and what you're doing and what rating would you give yourself, and can you up that a little bit, can you do a couple of things this week that will help you to potentially attract more clients, right? In terms of action, let's have a look again. So yeah, I mean, I think the about contact, it's okay, but you're sort of, yeah, I'm not a massive fan. I think you should definitely have a separate about a contact page that's really obvious. So I would just separate those two out. So, but then she did also have her website and also her email on her LinkedIn profile, which I thought was good. So I don't know. I think I'll do 5 out of 10 for that as well. Let me know if you agree, disagree in the comments. You know, if you're watching the replay of this later, put in below in the comments what you thought as well. You know, it's really good to share everyone's thoughts. In terms of advocacy, yes, like we said, we can't see what Stella's doing in the background, you know, based on like asking for more referrals from her clients and all of that kind of good stuff that you can do too. But we're just sort of mostly judging it on testimonials and things like that. So yeah, I think I'd probably give her a 5 out of 10 again for that. Okay, so I think everyone did fairly well. There was definitely some work to be done. We've got some 5s, we've got some 7s, we've got some 8s. We got quite a lot of 5s. I feel like everyone's done a really good job and their work is incredible. So thank you so much, really, for everybody who submitted. I think we had maybe about 40 in the end. I think we had about 40 portfolios submitted. So we just went through 3 today. And I know we did Stella's a little bit quickly at the end, but I just wanted to make sure that we got through it. And I really appreciate everyone being here live as well. So if you want to submit your portfolio, you should go to join our mailing list. We're putting a link below this video in the description because that's where we send out emails to share with you how you can, you know, get your own portfolio reviewed as well. So I just wanted to also say that if you would like to work with me and you want to learn more about how to do that, you can go to the link below this video as well. And I really hope that you all enjoyed this live today. I am going to do this more, hopefully. So yes, do definitely get on our mailing list if you would like your portfolio reviewed. And I think lovely Chrissy is putting that in the chat for you right now. And I did have a screen that I wanted to show you, but I don't know whether it's going to come up. Okay, well, we can't get it up how we would like, so we're just going to have to go with just me. So that's fine. So yeah, if you go to motionhatch.com/work with me, you will see a quiz there where you can see which of our courses are right for you right now and resources. I will send you an email, reply, and point you in the right direction to get more help from us. So I hope you all have a wonderful day or a wonderful evening or wonderful morning, wherever you are in the world. I'd just like to thank everybody again who submitted their portfolios. And like I said, if you would like to have your portfolio reviewed, go and subscribe to our mailing list. And if you would like to learn more from me and you'd like to get more help for your motion design business, go to motionhatch.com/work with me. All right, thank you everyone so much, and I'll speak to you all very soon.